We have a follow-up from a caller named Kevin who lives in Fort Worth, Texas. And Kevin was about to get married, but he had suspicions about his fiancée. I gave him some advice, and he's going to tell us about that. Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, I guess.
Now, you sounded pretty despondent, pretty desperate. When we talked to you not long ago, I gave you some advice. What was that?
You told me this spyware on the computer.
Yeah, it's actually spy software. The spyware is another thing. It's that spy software where you can essentially record every keystroke on the computer.
Right.
So you went out and got it.
Right.
And you installed it.
Yeah.
And what happened? What'd you find?
I found out that she was talking some dirty talk to some guy's friends, or supposedly.
Guy friends.
Yeah.
And what time of day was this happening, do you know?
While I was at work.
While you were at work, she was on getting into nasty conversations with guys?
Right. They was talking about, sizes and stuff like that, and she was flirting with and stuff like that.
Yeah, so as far as you could tell, she had not gotten together with these guys.
Well, we called off the marriage.
How did you, well, we'll get to that in a second, but when she was chatting, could you tell if she'd actually, hooked up with them?
Well, she wasn't actually hooked up with them. I mean, like I said, she was talking to a couple of guys in Florida.
Right. And these are people she knows or people she met on the internet?
The people she met on the internet.
All right, so when you came up with all this information, what did you do, print it out?
No, I didn't print it out. I just ignored it. You know, just like it never happened. I didn't want no record of knowing that she knew what I was doing.
Okay. So, what'd you do, confront her? I mean, how did this happen exactly, that you called off the wedding?
Well, we just decided to call off the wedding and stuff. And, just, this morning, about 4 o'clock, phone rang. And this guy named Blake called.
For her?
On her cell phone.
How did you know that was his name?
It showed up on a caller ID.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So say she had his phone number programmed in her cell phone.
I see. All right. Now, she's still dating you, even though you're not getting married?
Right.
Okay. So she was at your place, and her cell phone rang, and she was sleeping. And so you looked at the caller ID, and you saw Blake. Now, when you told her you were not going to get married to her, what reason did you give her?
I said we needed more time.
And she agreed?
Yes.
Now, she lives at your house?
Yes.
Why do you allow that? She's there using your computer, using your electricity, eating your food, and chatting with guys on the internet.
Right.
Why do you tolerate?
Well, that's a long story there, Tom, because of my self-esteem is real low.
Maybe we need to bolster your self-esteem a little bit. You don't have to put up with this, Kevin.
Well, I know I don't have to put up with it, but...
Maybe you should stop.
Yeah, but me and the opposite sex is
So you're with her because you're desperate. You can't find anybody else.
Right.
So this is all you deserve.
Well, I deserve. I had a lot worse.
Yeah, but you know what? At least they were not chatting with other people on the internet.
No, just one of my exes that I had when I was at work. She would go over to her ex-boyfriend's house. Him up and bring him over to the house, and when I get off work, he's sitting in my house.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're better off having nobody than having somebody like this living in your house.
Right.
You know that.
I know that, but it's just a little insecurity on my part.
I understand, Kevin. It's time to go. It's time for her to go. Did you keep checking up on her after that? Oh, God, Kevin.
Welcome to Paris,
Wow.
The show is just...
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Horatio on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hi, son.
Hey, a couple of months been hearing you, but in the most heterosexual way, I love you.
Thank you.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about the ball players that got subpoenaed to go up on Capitol Hill and talk about the roids.
Yes. Did you watch any of that yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't see it live, but I was reading on it on the LA Times, and it just disgusted me how Mark McGuire was up there almost crying, saying that after the testimony of a couple of
Yeah, boo-hoo-hoo, Mark. We know you took steroids now. Now we know you took steroids.
exactly.
Now, the reason we know you took steroids is because all you had to say was, no, I didn't take steroids. That's all you had to say.
And you know what?
You're sitting there. Here's your big opportunity. You're on T-freaking me. All you had to do is say, here I am. You guys called me here, and I didn't do it. And the freaking guy couldn't do it. Now, he's sitting there with all the symptoms of steroids. His face is pockmarked. His body grew like a balloon over the years. All he had to do was say, no, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even say that. Boo freaking who. You know what? Before this, I was feeling sorry for the guy thinking Canseco had, just sucker punched him to sell a few books. After yesterday, I am 100% convinced that Mark McGuire was on roids. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, me too, Tom. I mean, I can't believe that he tried to put up a front, and and the thing that pissed me off.
And how about that lousy line he had? Well, I'm not here to talk about the past.
Exactly.
What are you going to say? They're having an investigation. You can't investigate the future.
Exactly, and even the Congress members, the board was saying, we go on the past. If Enron was to come in here and say, oh, we don't think about the past, then how could we ever convict anybody? It was just ridiculous how his argument was totally out of the question. Just answer the question. Did you or did you not? And he tried to put up a front, squeeze out some tears. It was a bunch of crap, a bunch of baloney. And I just think that, one of the Congress members actually made a good point where he was like, how can you, at the end of your career, bulk up and break all these records, it just doesn't make sense, when you were in your prime, you were...
Well, the senator who said that is a guy named Jim Bunning. He's a Republican from Kentucky. But Jim Bunning was a major league pitcher. Pitched for the Philadelphia Phillies. He pitched at least one perfect game that I know of. And he's the one who made those comments. That in his day in baseball, when you got older, you didn't get better, you got worse.
Exactly, that you just got worse and worse because you were getting older.
And eventually they kicked you out. That's the way it worked. It wasn't like Barry Bonds. You just keep having a higher batting average. You keep hitting more home runs. You look like you're in better shape every year. Come on.
Exactly, it just really upset me that, a great sport like baseball would be taken this way,
Well, baseball's had drug scandals before. Baseball's had drug scandals before. Cocaine use in baseball was rampant in the 80s. You may recall anyone from Darryl Strawberry to Dwight Gooden to Otis Nixon. The list was long. Steve Howe, one after another. So many of them were using cocaine. I might add, by the way, that all the guys they caught using cocaine, they all bat over 300. They all had ERAs below 2. Some of the best performers in baseball were the ones who got caught. Remember Tony Phillips?
Yep, definitely.
Played for the California Angels, the Anaheim Angels? Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles. What were they? I don't even know. Tony Phillips caught in an Anaheim motel room with crack. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Right.
So you say you can't believe baseball has this scandal. Baseball's had other scandals, lots of them.
Definitely, and with every sport, and I just hope that they find some kind of reform and they bring the respect of baseball back to the game.
They're not going to do that because the Players Union will never allow it.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to mention, the vice president and the president of the league, going up there and, I think one of the members asked for his resignation in an indirect way, and, whatever it takes, I love the game, and I hope that respect can be brought back to the game, and You know, I mean, guys like Mark McGuire going out there and crying and you know, acting like little wimps. You know, what kind of crap is that?
Yeah. Well, Mark McGuire has cried before. He has, I don't know, whatever issues he has. But, look, you know, before I believed him. I believed he was not on steroids, but he couldn't bear to lie to Congress. So instead, he just said, I didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah. And
Mark, why didn't you just say no? Why would an attorney tell you to say no comment if the answer was no?
Exactly.
Nobody believes you. Mark, by the way, Mark McGuire lives right here in SoCal. He lives in Huntington Beach. He could be listening right now. And I want you to know, wherever you are, Mark McGuire, there's no attorney in the world who would tell you to say no comment if the real answer was you didn't do anything wrong. When the real answer is you didn't do anything wrong, you say it.
Exactly.
You say it.
You're straightforward with it. You just say, no, I didn't do it. You know, just like...
Sammy Sosa said he didn't do it. Rafael Palmeiro said he didn't do it. Why couldn't Mark McGuire say he didn't do it?
Exactly.
Sammy Sosa had an attorney.
Exactly.
Nobody believes you, Mark McGuire. That home run record you broke, it's bogus. Nobody believes it. They might put it in the record book, but nobody believes you now. You had the golden opportunity to step up to the microphone once and for all and say, I didn't do anything wrong. But you didn't.
You didn't take the opportunity, Tom.
So now I think the guy cheated too.
Never have enough security.
Yep, definitely. I have no doubt about it. Hey, listen, Tom.
By the way, Sammy Sosa may have denied it, but I don't believe him either.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think he was on the juice, too.
Yeah, well, I think so also. But just an opinion.
That is Victor Novikov,
Mark McGuire,
head of
though.
Sanguine
Mark
and
McGuire had
ringleader
his chance.
of the Argo.
Yep, and he passed it up.
What a little girl he was up there. Boo-hoo-hoo, Mark.
Yep, totally right.
Yeah. Robert Schimmel is here. Just about made it through the rain. L.A. is going to rain like all weekend, and it's already starting. The week had beautiful weather, and now it's lousy right in time for you to get home this weekend. Perfect. How's it going?
It's going great.
What are you up to these days?
Going great.
No, Boogie, there's nobody
Just working,
outside,
had a
bud.
baby 4 weeks ago. This
No one there, buddy.
What'd you have?
son.
No one's there,
Yeah.
bud.
And now the doctor told me you're 55. He said that it's time to get a vasectomy. So he said even though I appreciate the business, you got to really go get fixed.
Did you do it yet?
Not yet, but word is I can't resume anything with my wife until I do that first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And the way my luck goes, I'm not supposed to have any kids anyway because I already lost the testicle and I had 8 months of chemotherapy. So my brother Jeffrey said, after the vasectomy, you can name your next kid Murphy for Murphy's Law because you'll be the guy that has a kid after the vasectomy. I talked to 3 guys that had them. One guy said, it's nothing. It's like getting kicked in the nuts for a couple of days. A couple of days. It happened to me once, and I was puking in a parking lot all afternoon. And the 2 other guys said it was nothing, so I'm going to have to do it in the next couple of weeks.
Like you haven't had enough medical procedures recently.
Yeah, I just had oral surgery, and I said, can't you guys do the vasectomy while I'm out for that? And they said, we're not going to go down there while your mouth is open. I told my ex-wife. So, thank you. I listen to you all the time when I'm in town, and when I pick my 14-year-old up in the afternoon, you're on. And she was on. It was last week you were on talking about why the girls should get money from the Kobe thing.
Yeah.
She's 14, and she said that. She goes, the girl didn't know why she was going to his hotel room, and it's like a 14-year-old knows that.
Of course, the one who went to his hotel room was 19 years old, which is not that much of a difference.
No, and then I remember there was a guy that called in saying the girl should get all the money she can get, and it's like, wow, whose side are you on? It's like, I don't even want my daughter hearing this.
Yeah. That was the caller who said that it was a woman who called up and said that if she ever got with a celebrity, she'd let herself get pregnant or whatever she had to do, and then she'd sue him and say he raped her. She said that she hasn't coming to her. If he's a celebrity, that's the cost doing business.
Okay.
Cost of
Am I
fame.
missing something here?
It's scary. I have a 26-year-old, and my 14-year-old tells my 26-year-old things that she doesn't tell me, but then my 26-year-old tells me, And I find out that my daughter, who's like in 8th grade, that at her school one afternoon, some of her friends had a oral sex competition. And
I'm not going to ask you if she won. That would be rude.
My daughter wasn't in it. And,
okay, just checking.
And I believe her because I know her mom. So I know there's no way she's going to be in there.
My God. So you're going to keep going through these teenage years. How old are you going to be when this is all said and done?
Oh, my God. Well, so now I have a 20-month-old son and a 4-week-old son, and that's it. And I'm 55.
There we go. So high school graduation will be around your 73rd birthday?
Yeah, perfect. That should be something.
You're playing at the Brea Improv tonight through Sunday?
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah, it's a different part of California. They're a little more conservative up there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Can't worry about going out there, but I went last night. It was bumper to bumper, like all the way. I don't know where people are working that they'd want to live out there to drive like 2 hours to get.
That's where they have to go. No, but that's where they have to go to buy a house that's under $3 million now. You got to live out there.
Yeah.
You can't afford a house here. Nobody can afford a house here anymore. You got people who own houses, and then people who ride the bus to come clean your house. That's about it. There's really no room for anybody else in L.A. anymore.
Yeah, I live in Santa Monica, and I'm renting a place, and we have a housekeeper that doesn't speak any English. The only English she knows is when she points across the street and says, "That's where Larry David lives." And then he lives on the top of a hill. She knew that.
So what have you been doing lately besides procreating?
Just working on new material and performing all over the place. I got, I'm on the Robert Schimmel spousal maintenance tour. I'm supporting 2 families here at the same time.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. My ex just doesn't. She just doesn't. I can't. I have to hide anything I do for my kids because if I say, "Hey, they're talking to me about a pilot, I think, for something," then she'll call me up and go, "Oh, so you got a pilot offer for something? Now I can go back for more money for." So it's like I gotta lie and say I'm doing bad all the time.
Now, doesn't she flip out when you mention her on the radio shows you do? Or whatever.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's usually, she says she hears about it from her friends, but I know she listens and she hears it. She just doesn't stop. And she still will not admit that I'm married or that I have children with my new wife. She says the person that lives in your house and her kids. It's like I have a boarding house.
Since the last time I saw you, we found out, amazingly, that Conan is going to get the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Is that amazing?
Yeah. Well, it'll be better than what it is.
Oh, boy. And, I was just surprised to see that happen because Conan has come a long way.
I know. I've gotten away with so much on that show. I really have. I remember the first time I was on there, he said, just go out and have fun. And I opened with this joke where I said that I had nitrous oxide at the dentist. And I was sitting in the chair stoned, and the guy came in and said, "Robert, you're going to need in your mouth." And I said, "I'm going to need a lot more gas before that starts happening." And the producers ran in and said, "Oh, my God."
Welcome to Paris 47. The show is just about to start. This is the red carpet event of the season, and the guest list is a veritable who's who of the global fashion elite. You will find Victor Novikov basking in the spotlight, while Daria Margolis hosts the heavily guarded auction on the 2nd floor for a group of Iago's top customers. Now, event security will keep a watchful eye on any suspicious activity. Can you trust your type?
once when I was... What did you go do? So I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do about this awkward situation that's been forced on right upon me as I'm walking down the tube on my own into the valley of life. Got a lifetime of experience. Yeah, I've got so much to give. Open the page of chapter 1. Could this just be that life's just begun? Revel within your darker thoughts, reflecting on everything you've been taught. Never felt this way before. Seems that somebody's just opened the door to the book of life. Or is it darkness, there ever any way out? Someone's looking down on me to the very inner core of my soul. They won't tell me what they see, but I really want to know. I want to live my life on my own. I want to live the
Those tables won't wait for Watch it.
Move along. Oh, sorry. Word. Don't shoot my name.
To this guy Swift. Degree advanced protection works up to 125 degrees. But be careful, it won't let you down.
Safety's off. You're not one of us.
Have fun.
In, sir. Enjoy your evening.
Huh? Sorry, sir. I never...
That is Viktor Novikov, head of Sanguine and ringleader of Iago. Quite the resume.
It's looking tuxedo. Wrong party, though. It's like you're not coming through here. God, you're so... God damn it! Hey, who just left this here like this? Seriously.
Huh? Oh gosh, do you need help? Leave me alone!
Hey, who are you, buddy? Listen to me. I want everybody to stay right here. I'll see what it was. You, stop!
I hear you.
Honestly, fuck this. Let's replay this mission. I'm just gonna fucking load up and just shoot everybody in this fucking level because I'm playing this show on professional mode. And it's a lot harder. So I'm just gonna take my anger out on the fucking computer and just fucking kill everything. Fucking, oh shit. That's actually real shit. Let's put the poisons away. Melee weapon. Nice. Let's what else are we gonna fuck with? Rubber ducky? Yeah, not a rubber ducky. Chinese stars, yeah. Shriekings.
Welcome to Paris 47. The show is just about to start.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to
That's
Sanguine.
okay. Hey, watch the phone.
Huh.
All right. Hey, what are you doing? This area is off limits. Sir, please. What? This is a restricted area. Now show...
I hear you!
Hey, you know, guards might shoot you just for...
Someone help me! Hey, Union Cop, something bad's going down. Talk to me, what's going on? Someone's been killed here! Help! Roger, Commander. Nothing tangible yet, sir. Still looking. Will do. Out.
No! Check every square inch!
Hey, you!
Move! Move!
Go, Commander.
Is that...
No. Goddamn! Double, triple murder! Christ, I can't count. I'm gonna throw up. I'm in trouble. I need help now. Someone has died, I think.
What the hell?
Captain's log, stardate 41636.9. As feared, our examination of the 7-year overdue Federation freighter Odin, disabled by an asteroid collision, revealed no life signs. However, 3 escape pods were missing, suggesting the possibility of survivors.
We're ready to begin orbit of Angel 1, Captain.
Make it so, Mr. LaPorte. What kind of place is it?
Angel 1 is a Class M planet, sir, supporting carbon-based flora and fauna, sparsely populated with intelligent life forms. It is similar in technological development to mid-20th century Earth.
Kind of like being marooned at home? Assuming any of the survivors made it this far. Admittedly, it is the closest planet to the Odin. To travel the distance we did in 2 days at Warp 1 would have taken the Odin escape pod 5 months.
5 months, 6 days, 11 hours, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Data.
And 57 seconds.
Captain, we're receiving an audio signal from Angel 1.
Starfleet are adamant that we maintain excellent diplomatic relations with this planet. Mr. Data, is there any other pertinent information before we reply?
Angel 1 has evolved into a constitutional oligarchy. It is governed by a parliamentary body consisting of 6 elected mistresses and headed by a female they refer to as the Elected One.
It sounds like my own planet.
Klingons appreciate strong women. How current is this information, Mr. Data?
A Federation vessel last visited this planet 62 years ago, Captain.
Counselor, as this is a female-dominated society, you might wish to make the initial contact.
Thank you, sir.
Open hailing frequencies.
Hailing frequencies open, sir. This is Counselor Deanna Troy from the USS Enterprise.
I am Beata, the Elected One. How may we assist you, Counselor?
The Federation has neglected to visit your planet for far too long. With your permission, we would like to correct that oversight.
We feel in no way neglected, Counselor. A diplomatic courtesy call is neither expected nor required.
We also come in search of possible survivors from one of our freighters.
Welcome to Paris, 47.
A brief visit will be tolerated.
We've broken off transmission.
Ever feel like you're not really wanted?
We'll step right in, sir.
Oh, pardon me.
Man, I wish I had that job.
Sir, I don't recognize you, so you can't come through. Sorry.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Watch out, buddy. Watch out. Watch out.
The instructor has us scheduled for the Danubian Alpha, sir.
I'll save us some deep powder.
No problem, sir. The holodecks have all you'd ever need.
The away team's ready, sir. Angel 1's strategic importance in this quadrant may become vital. Starfleet's hope is that one day this world may become part of the Federation.
We'll do our best to make a good impression, Captain.
Energize. beamed down to an unusual matriarchal society where the female is as aggressively dominant as the male gender was on Earth hundreds of years ago. Here, the female is the hunter, the soldier, larger and stronger than the male. An arrangement considered most sensible and natural.
I am Beata, the elected one of Angel One. Representatives of the Starfleet Enterprise, do you wish to petition?
We do. We have reason to hope that survivors from a damaged Federation freighter may be marooned on your planet. We are seeking to learn if this is so.
Even a world as remote as Angel One is heard of Starfleet. Searching the galaxy for survivors seems a petty task for one of their mighty vessels.
We don't consider even one survivor petty.
Is this man implying that we put a lesser value on life than you do?
Not at all. Our discovery of the freighter was unexpected. We have a duty to investigate.
I see. And if you find any survivors, what then?
We will take them with us and see that they were reunited with their families.
We'd take these strangers at their word? Good question.
What reason could we possibly have to deceive you?
Look where you're going.
Another good question.
Are there survivors from the freighter Odin on your planet?
I'm not prepared to answer. Yet. See to their comforts.
What's going on?
You will remain here until sunrise.
Is this area secure? Can we talk?
Yes. Tricorder doesn't show any listening devices or anything else of a threatening nature.
Good. Troy.
There was much fear in that room.
Paranoia, I'd say. But of what?
I cannot say. But their fear was not focused. I sense they were all not concerned for the same reason. Undoubtedly, there are survivors from the Odin on this planet.
I agree. Otherwise, why would they be so circumspect?
As Mr. Spiata is so fond of saying, good question.
What do we do if they deny the existence of survivors? Let's not look for problems.
I want all departments to prepare for a Warp 6 trip into the neutral zone as soon as the away team completes its mission.
Trouble, Captain.
Insurance? Romulan battle cruisers have been detected near one of our border posts. They've requested our assistance as soon as...
Wait. Yeah, what's a decent...
Report, Mr. Crusher.
We finished our ski lesson, sir. And it kind of just happened.
On the Enterprise, Mr. Crusher, nothing just happens. What does that smell?
Yes. Slightly reminiscent of night blooming Throgni, Captain. From home. Quite stimulating, wouldn't you say?
No.
I don't smell anything. A little congested. The snow.
Don't let this just happen again, Mr. Crusher.
Yes, sir.
Still no answer.
Interesting. An alcohol-based synthetic artificially reproducing a floral scent.
It's called perfume data.
The purpose of which is...
Certain cultures consider perfume an aphrodisiac.
I'm unfamiliar with that term. An aphrodisiac is something used to stimulate or enhance sexual pleasure. How does stimulation of the olfactory nerves affect the enjoyment of sex?
The elected one will see you now.
You claim you intend to remove these survivors from our world. Are you prepared to give your solemn word on that?
We are.
You should know that the vote was not unanimous. Some of those among us are suspicious. Yet the majority feel we have no choice but to trust you.
We don't understand the source of your misgivings, Mistress, but we appreciate your faith in us.
Make certain that faith is not misplaced. There are 4 survivors from the ship you call Odin. All male. Their leader is a man who calls himself Ramsey. If you'll deliver these men to us, we'll have them off your planet immediately.
I know.
If they were mine to deliver, I would do it without hesitation. Unfortunately, their hiding place has long eluded us. Hiding place? Why are they in hiding? Because they're fugitives on Angel 1. And the quicker we get rid of them, the better. When these men came to us 7 years ago, they accepted our hospitality quickly enough.
Can you believe this, Bree?
They gradually became restive. Started making unreasonable demands. Went against the natural order.
Using the technology of the Enterprise, we might be able to find these men.
I assumed as much. But be warned, Counselor. These men are dangerous.
Sickbay to Captain Picard.
Got him.
Wesley and one of his friends have contracted some form of respiratory ailment.
A respiratory ailment. Is it contained?
I hope so. I've isolated the 12 students who were on the Quizzulo 8 field trip.
How contagious is it?
Still running tests. The key is to figure out how the virus is transmitted. So far, I've been able to rule out person-to-person contact.
Well, keep with it, Doctor. Starfleet has very important business for us as soon as the away team returns. Don't fancy the idea of my crew being infected.
Data, what's the best way to go about finding Ramsey and the other survivors? If we can isolate something unique to the Odin survivors, perhaps an element not otherwise found on Angel 1, we can utilize the Enterprise scanners.
Mr. Data will need access to your library.
Our library is far too sophisticated for a man to comprehend.
I am an android, Mistress. Though anatomically I am a male.
An amusing notion. Maybe you could teach our males a thing or two. Trent, see to the android's needs.
Bridge to Captain Picard. Go ahead, Lieutenant. The away team requests that we scan the planet's surface for traces of platinum. Have Mr. LaForge break fixed orbit and initiate a search pattern. Aye, Captain. Geordi.
Search pattern initiated now.
This was delivered for you.
Good. It's for my meeting with Beata.
Work 47. Time to find Dahlia
You're not going to
Margolis.
wear that.
Of course. Part of this mission is diplomatic. I have requested an audience with the head of state, and I will honor her by wearing indigenous apparel.
I don't believe this. You're going to put that thing on and parade around like one of them?
Why, what is this attitude? On Kabatras, I had to wear furs to meet with the Leadership Council, and on Armus 9, I wore feathers. This objection doesn't have anything to do with the fact that Beata is a woman, and an attractive one, does it?
This is quite unnecessary, Doctor. I'm fine.
You're infected with the virus, Captain. In my opinion, you are no longer physically able to effectively command this vessel.
That is ridiculous, Doctor. I've an away team down there in less than friendly territory. And in addition, I have an appointment with several Romulan battle crews.
You have an appointment in your cabin, Captain, with your bed.
Is that an order, Doctor?
Yes.
I think I may sneeze.
A Klingon sneeze?
Only kind I know. Lieutenant LaForge, you have command until further notice. orders. Please, make the proper ship's log entries.
Aye, sir.
Scanners indicate a platinum trace. Should I notify the away team?
Make it so.
Sorry, sir. It's just protocol. Good to go, sir. Thank you for your patience.
What do you think?
Well, I gotta say, it's kind of sexy.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Actually, it feels quite comfortable.
How handsome you look.
Thank you. The Enterprise reports a possible location for Mr. Ramsey and the other survivors.
So soon, huh? I'm impressed. I'm suspicious.
You don't believe me?
Not yet. I hear the words, but not the sincerity. You had your opportunity to object, Ariel. You were in the minority. After 7 years, the great ship Enterprise comes to repatriate a small group of insignificant people.
Mistress Ariel, I hear the words, but not the sincerity.
You should listen more carefully. Excuse me, mistress. I have matters to attend to elsewhere.
With your permission, we'd like to begin our search immediately.
By all means. But I'm sure Counselor Troy and the others would see to that without you. If I recall, you had a gesture of goodwill you wished to give to me.
Certainly that can wait until we recover the survivors.
Are you suggesting that the women in your party are incapable of accomplishing that task without the help of a man?
Not at all. Lieutenant Yar and Counselor Troy are completely qualified.
You're very generous with your praise. Inform them that you will remain here with me.
Riker to Lieutenant Yar.
This is Yar.
In the interest of diplomatic relations, I'll remain here with Mr. Spiata while you conduct our search.
Commander?
You have your instructions.
Relax. We have much to discuss.
We're busy today, man.
Excuse me, I have to search you.
Set phasers to stun. I wish they weren't necessary.
A justified precaution, Counselor. Mr. Spiata observed that Mr. Ramsey and his men are dangerous.
Lieutenant Yard, Enterprise.
Go ahead, Tasha.
3 to beam to the location of that platinum trace, Geordi.
Coordinates set.
Energize. Tasha!
Welcome.
Thank you.
I've been expecting you.
Dark Bridge.
LaForge here.
Status report.
82 more reported cases of the virus, sir. Dr. Crusher's converted the holodeck into an isolation ward.
And the away team.
Well, no recent contact, sir, but I have informed them of the medical situation up here and of the growing Romulan threat to our neutral zone outpost.
Keep me advised. You have the bridge until Commander Riker returns.
Engineering reports and computer map.
That is Dahlia Morgos, supermodel turned spy master.
I'm sure half the ship knows that by now. Report to sick bay, Lieutenant.
Engineering to bridge.
LaForge here.
The computer won't accept the variant climate controls.
On my way.
With all respect, Lieutenant, there are people to do that
engineering? Lieutenant Wong knows that system. I'm sure she'll be able to resolve all problems. Worf?
Please leave. I'm in the
Thanks
middle
for
of
the
something.
advice. How did you find me?
Actually, it was quite simple. Angel 1 has no platinum. Enterprise scanners did the rest.
Waiters
Platinum
will
was
be... Yeah, well, waiters.
my wings. I kept them for their sentimental value.
Where are the other survivors, Mr. Ramsey?
Oh, they're nearby. They're packing, as a matter of fact, since we can no longer remain here.
7 years on an alien planet. And I sense no anticipation, no excitement of being rescued.
What is it that you think that you're rescuing me from? My shipmates and I have all taken wives. A few even have children. You can't rescue a man from a place that he calls his home.
Why were you so hesitant at first to tell us about the Odin survivors?
Oh, I'd love it.
Because Ramsey
Come here. Come here, bud.
here to fuel their struggle.
What's the matter, bud? Come here. Come here. Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? What's the matter with you? What are you doing? Hey, hey.
It's not our position
Quiet. Hey,
to interfere in domestic affairs of other society.
There's nobody out there, bud.
Of course.
There's
Otherwise,
nobody
how would we
outside,
learn?
buddy.
Is that why you're here with me
Give me a
tonight?
hug.
To
Give me a
learn
hug.
Yes.
about our society?
Yes.
I love you.
Well, in our society, it is the men who are the fortunate
Nobody
ones,
else here, though. Nobody
enjoying
else there,
all
buddy.
life has to offer.
Here, I'll check.
Why
There's
would we
nobody
devote
outside.
ourselves to the obligation of making life
Yes,
work?
there's nobody outside, buddy. Nobody
In
outside.
our society, we share the responsibilities and the pleasures equally. Which is why I'm able to be here with you while the women of the away team go to find Ramsey.
You have to remind me to thank them when they come back for giving us this time.
Boot, sit down. Sit. Ah, boy. Mwah. I love you, buddy.
You resist. Don't you find me attractive?
Maybe. But actually, my company...
Yes, I find you very
More
attractive.
specific.
You attract me like no man ever has.
It's not my function to seduce or be seduced by the leader of another world.
But I'll see what I can.
No, it's not. But will you still respect me in the morning?
I hope so.
Thank you, Trent.
Let me go.
Enlighten me, Nicholas. That's not very good, is it? Class action lawsuit. And how
Compliments
do
of
you
the
deal with
USS
evidences in
Enterprise.
court?
It's called an Albany meditation, Christian.
Very impressive. And now I must
Get back to
repay
work.
in kind.
As if, sir, you cannot enter these
5
premises.
months on a rescue pod, no bigger than
Just
this
keep
room.
going.
It's an eternity I hope none of you will ever have to face. When we finally made it,
Bogey.
we thought we'd die and gone to heaven.
Bogey.
You've seen women
Bogey.
tall, strong,
Get back to work.
very lovely. But after the newness wore off, we started to see how the men were treated.
What's up, buddy?
There's no
What's up,
votes,
buddy?
there's no opinions, there's no respect.
None of which is your concern any longer, Mr. Ramsey. Call the others in, please. It's time to leave.
Despite their problems, Lieutenant, we happen to like it here on Angel 1. We're not going anywhere.
But Mistress Beata...
Mistress Beata be damned. Her wish is not my command, and neither is yours. You can't force us to go. Mr. Ramsey is correct, Counselor. The Odin was not a starship, which means her crew is not bound by the Prime Directive. If he and the others wish to stay here, there is absolutely nothing we can do about it.
quarters.
We're gonna be seriously undermanned if we're forced to engage the Romulans in battle.
The Romulans are your problem, Lieutenant. Trying to find an inoculant is mine. This virus mutates every 20 minutes. But we haven't had any fatalities. Yet.
If this continues, there'll be no one left to run the ship.
If this continues, Lieutenant LaForge, nobody will be healthy enough to care. Yard to Enterprise.
Enterprise here, go ahead.
Prepare to beam 3 to our previous location, Geordi. After regrouping with Commander Riker, we'll return to the ship.
I suggest you make that on the double, Tasha. We have a real medical emergency brewing up here. 1/3 of the crew is down, and the latest information from the neutral zone outpost is that more Romulan vessels are converging on that area.
I'll inform the commander. Yara. One thing before we go. You said you were expecting us. Why?
I can't answer that.
Bogey.
We wish you well, Mr.
What's that,
Ramsey.
David? What's up, buddy?
Energize.
What's up, Bogey?
They're gone.
What's up, buddy?
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Sandpoint.
Refreshing change through the man who knows what he wants.
It doesn't have to be told by a woman.
Exactly.
I know I look fine, but
I
he's
knew
like
you were bright enough to understand. See, women by our very nature want only what is best for their men.
Men are not objects to be possessed, Mistress Beata.
What?
Of course they're not. It was merely a figure.
Somebody brought their senile aunt or something? Who's leaving stuff like this? Whoa. It's okay. No worries.
Enter. What is so important you find it necessary to intrude upon my privacy?
They have returned, Mistress, but without Ramsey or the others.
Your advanced technology has proven inadequate?
What happened, Tasha?
Mr. Ramsey and the other survivors refused to leave.
Shit.
You gave me your solemn word.
I'm sorry. There's nothing else we can do.
I'm sorry as well.
Awesome.
Since you refuse to take them with you, I am left with no choice but to sentence them all to death.
Come.
It looks horrible, tastes worse, but it's absolutely guaranteed to make you feel better.
That is Victor Novikov, head of Sanguine and ringleader of Iago. Quite miserable.
I knew you'd like it. Are you wearing cologne? Like something I smelled earlier, something Klingon.
Lieutenant Worf and I detected the same scent when we bumped into your son at the holodeck.
It's that smell. That's how the virus travels. An airborne particle whose sweet scent inspires deep inhalation. And once inside the body, becomes that damn virus. I have work to do.
You are excused, Doctor.
What's the latest on the Enterprise's medical situation? Dr. Crusher feels the virus will undoubtedly run unchecked through the entire ship. Attempts to develop an inoculant have so far ended in failure. Lieutenant LaForge still has bridge command pending your return, sir.
And what about the Romulans entering the neutral zone?
outpost reports a contingent of 7 Romulan battle cruisers within sensor range. The USS Berlin has answered the distress call. However, should hostilities erupt, both the outpost and the starship will be outgunned. It is felt that the Enterprise's presence in the area will be a vital show of force.
Some show of force. The Enterprise can fly on autopilot. But with that virus knocking down our crew, we're going to be in sorry shape if things turn ugly.
I think it's time we leave this place.
It doesn't feel right to leave while Beata is determined to execute those people.
She has to find them first. Ramsey and his bunch have been fugitives for years. I suspect he's pretty good at evading capture.
Something's
I'm not sure I know who you are. Can you believe this guy?
Before you go back to your ship, there's something I want you to see.
We were no harm to anyone. Why did you tell them where to find us?
You brought this upon yourself. You and the traitor. One does not need the technology of the Enterprise to follow Mistress Ariel sneaking out to warn her husband. Let her stand with him now. For tomorrow they will die together.
You claim to be an advanced society, and yet you resort to executions in order to suppress those who don't share your views?
I don't expect you to understand.
Why? Because I'm only a man?
You'll accomplish nothing with that attitude.
Mistress Beata, if you had an alternative to the execution of Ramsey and his followers, would you take it?
Is that not the way of an advanced society?
Then let us meet with the men from Odin one last time. Let me try to convince them to leave here with us.
Will you also include those from this world who unwisely choose to follow Ramsey and his group?
Yes, all of them.
Mistress Beata is willing to give you a second chance. We're prepared to take your entire group with us.
It's very kind of you. But we're not going.
Haven't you been paying attention, Ramsey? You're scheduled to be executed tomorrow.
We don't want to die. We don't want to leave either.
There's no time to debate the issues. You're going with us whether you choose to go or not.
Excuse me, Commander, but removing any of these people against their will would be a violation of several Starfleet regulations, not the least of which would be the Prime Directive.
I realize that, Mr. Data. I'd rather face a court-martial than live with the guilt of leading these people to their death. Commander Riker of the Enterprise.
This is the Enterprise Crusher here.
Must be worse up there than we thought.
Doctor, where's Lieutenant LaForge?
He's right here, but he's in bad shape.
Notify the transporter room. I have 14 to beam up.
I can't allow it. This virus is totally out of control here.
Doctor, these people are facing their death.
They might be facing the same thing up here. Until I have a better idea what I'm dealing with, no one can beam up.
Ow! Stop that!
I'm sorry, Will, but you must wait.
Understood. Doctor, would this virus have any effect on Mr. Data?
Not likely.
You're going back there alone. I want you to get the Enterprise into the neutral zone before it's too late.
This is Data, standing by to beam up.
What of them?
I don't know,